Hey, AfterBuzzers, thanks for joining us for another episode of Counterpart. And the Oscar goes to Claire. She has fooled us this entire season. We're talking all things Claire, all things Quill, spilling the beans. Stay tuned to find out.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I think this was my favorite episode, period.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
It
I'm going to
explains
have
the
to
most.
disagree.
Surprise, shocker.
No?
That's the biggest twist. That's the counterpart to it. You're disagreeing. No way. That's not going to happen.
I didn't like it, not one bit.
This episode definitely proved why I've been saying, I think me and you have been saying that Claire has been our favorite character so far. There's so many twists and turns to Claire. There's so many things about her, so many questions that we learned this episode. So you guys, my name is Ashley Allen. Thanks for joining us for another episode. This is episode 7, the Sincerest Form of Flattery. Panelists, introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, it's Porchia Carter.
And of course, I'm Tehran. When it comes to Claire, who saw this coming?
I mean, we posted those questions last week. We said,
did.
what happened to the real Claire? Maybe she killed her. I remember saying maybe she killed her. And she killed her.
Yes.
Killed her with
In a-
her bare hands.
She
In a
with her
brutal
bare
way.
hands, looking face to face, like the real Claire didn't even get a chance to even see, like, dang, I got somebody that looked like me standing
Yeah.
next to me. Like she didn't even have an opportunity. It happened just as fast as Nadia's.
I mean, she
girl.
saw it. She saw her
actually,
face.
Nadia actually had the two Nadias actually had a one-on-one conversation
It did.
before the real Nadia died. So that was some type of hope. But this one was no hope at all. Like, homegirl see somebody look like her and is trying to kill her and she trying to stop her. She don't understand. Like, first of all, she bashed her face into a steering wheel. Like,
Yeah.
that she got your face. Like, why would you do that? Like, I couldn't look at somebody that looked like me and harm them in that way, because then I'm gonna feel sad. Like, that's me, you know?
Well, see, the difference is Claire has been born to do this. She has been raised
Studying
and
this girl.
studying for years and years. Seems like pretty much over 20 years she's been preparing for this. So, and as you saw, like, her teacher slapped her, like, get rid of your emotions. You don't have these emotions. This doesn't exist. So when it comes time to it, she handled business and she killed her like it was
She's
nothing.
a monster.
I don't know.
They
She has
raised
to
a
be, though.
monster.
She
I
has to
think
be.
she's just a broken, fragile person who's been conditioned to do a certain thing and has done it. And that's the ideology behind this episode is
Yeah.
conditioning. The concept of conditioning, the concept of Pavlov's dog, where she's been taught to hate and now she hates and despises. But do we believe her at the end? Because there's different things that you want to go over.
That's a good
What do you
question.
mean, do we believe her?
Do you believe that she's really this hard, cold-hearted person who will do anything to go through the mission?
Or not.
Or not, because as we
She-
saw at the end of the episode, she kind of was having a moment with her husband, Peter Quill, that, we're both stuck in this situation. This isn't really what I want, but she has to carry on with it if she wants to stay alive.
And the baby. The
And the
baby
baby.
changed a lot of things as well, I feel like. The baby, that is her baby. That
Yeah.
is not the other Claire's baby. That is her own baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we saw, the Claire Prime was breaking up with Peter Quill.
Yeah.
And that's where the insertion happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her baby, and this is technically her life. Claire Prime would not have had this life at all. So do we believe her?
So, I mean,
Well,
I think
I
that
agree
goes
with
back
her
to
not having that
do we
life.
believe her in the emotional moments that she was having with Baldwin in the past? Do we really believe that she really doesn't want to continue on with this mission? Is she really
She never
doing
said
it?
that.
But I'm saying, based on what she said at the end of tonight's episode and the interactions that she's had with Baldwin, do we really believe that this is all business at this point? It started that way, but is it still all business right now?
Yeah.
You think so, Tehran?
Yeah.
I don't know if she even has the capacity to have feelings. What I saw is Claire, who was able to fake an emotional connection with a parent she never knew and a husband that she doesn't truly love. But the baby is what the twist is. The twist is that is her child. And as most of us know, is when you do have a child, we consider things to change. And that's something that I'd love to play out, which why the scene of the birthday is such a compiling profound scene.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of things happen.
So what do you think is going to happen next? You know, we saw that Peter and Prime had a conversation. They did a whole sweep of the house. And Peter actually was kind of in denial that Claire, his wife, was the mole. But as we saw, you know, they discussed that, you know, don't let her know that you know all this information. Go through the night as normal. As we saw, he got drunk and was dropping little nuggets to her that I know who you are. And as we saw, he confronted her at the end of the episode.
He was giving her a test, though, that she failed.
But don't you think that was a big mistake? He shouldn't have done that.
What test did she fail?
When he started asking her about the game that they went to.
Sure, but she knew all the answers.
She knew the answers after she had to think back on what she learned.
No, that was on purpose.
Part of it. That was part of it,
Yeah.
to play it like I'm not calculated. That was on purpose. That's actually, she knew more than anticipated. Most people wouldn't remember most of that stuff. That's the concept. Do you speak Japanese?
No.
Prove it.
Exactly.
But not
You
only
can't.
that,
That's the point, is that you just can't. The concept is the truth needs no belief. So what she was doing was she was instilling
trying to
that,
prove
and
that
she was
she knew.
She was calculating like, oh, I don't remember. Oh, you know, actually, this is what happened.
Right.
Oh yeah, blah. That's how we would naturally remember
Exactly.
something. She did it almost too well, to the point where I'm surprised Peter Quayle did not doubt himself and go, well, maybe she's not.
I think if he would have come up with her being the mole on his own, he probably would have been like, okay, this isn't my wife.
The pill.
But the fact that they had, like you said, the pill
Concrete
and Prime
evidence.
was helping him, I think she did, the way that she answered his questions were perfect, because if she would have answered them right off the bat, it would have been like her answering questions to a quiz, and it would have just been
like a
too
robot.
much. Yeah, it would have been too much. So the fact that she brought some humility in it and, you know, made it natural, that was the way to go.
She was so good
and
at
she
it.
was still playing him, I feel like, at the end, because
But he still knew it wasn't her. Like, that's what I'm saying.
He knows that,
like,
but
he knew from her answers and that whole
It
little
wasn't the
interaction,
answers, it was
he
the
knew-
pill. She
Yeah, it was the
didn't
pill.
confront the answers. He only went to the concrete evidence, which is the pill. The only way he knew was because there is beyond a reasonable doubt that this is a cyanide pill, and that's why you would have it. It's either to kill me or to kill yourself. And because there's only one, it must be to kill yourself. It is your way out. It's in
Yeah.
your pill bottle.
And even then, she's still playing the game, because she's like, I let the pill expire. You know, we have a family. I'm caught in this, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe her at this point, because even if she really feels those
That pill
emotions.
ain't expired. It can still kill her if you take it.
Yeah. But I feel like even if she
Expired and
really
all.
feels those emotions and she doesn't want to be a part of this anymore, because she's been trained and she's been doing this her whole life, this is built in her. She can't escape what she's been turned into.
Yeah. The expiration concept came from her handler, who said that you have to renew the pill every year or it'll expire and become unuseful. And that's where the expiration, and that was such a good tactic for her to bring up. Now, does the pill actually work? We don't know if she has contacted her handler recently or not. However, we have something to suspect
But we know
that she
that
has.
guy, though, because wasn't he in the board meeting for getting Baldwin?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, they still are in contact with each other, you know.
Have
like,
you seen them in contact? So we don't actually know. We only assume simply because she's still carrying out her mission with Nadia. And so we're assuming that she has had contact. We have seen Claire in action. And because we've seen Claire in action, we are under the assumption that the plot must go on. However, because of the nature of the show, seeing is not always believing.
That's true. That's true. So let's jump into Claire's childhood a little bit. So like we said, we've seen her pretty much. It started off where she's having to identify her parents' body because of the flu epidemic. So she's an orphan at this point. She doesn't have a father. She doesn't have a mother. And now she's entering into this school, which I'm assuming are other kids who have lost their parents and are also being trained about, you know, what's going on in the other world. It's almost like a complete history lesson about their side of the world, the other side. And
they
this
don't
whole
even
master
learn about
plan.
their side. They learn about the other side.
They do
and
learn about their side. They learn about how the flu epidemic has
that
pretty
much.
ruin
But their whole
country.
study
Impacted
is
their-
about their other person, because these are the people that are raised to switch over to make the exchange to where they can take them out, because they're spies. That's the whole school thing, and that's where all these people are coming from. And that's what they tapped into last episode when they explained, like, there's a school of people that they're training, they're raising them up,
right,
and they're coming over here and they're switching over into these other lives, and they're taking over, so that when the time comes for homeboy Pope to actually do what he plans to do, he's going to have people in place.
But they are learning about their side as well. So the large classrooms are collective classrooms where they're learning subjects of the prime side and the alpha side, where they're learning these are the differences between the two. So they're constantly comparing and contrasting why this side is this way and that side is not.
Because it's in a study to get over there.
Sure, but they're still
but
learning
they're
about
still
their
learning,
side.
So that's how they know the differences between each other. Because just like, for example, they were talking about, oh my God, they still eat pork. You know, so they have to know the differences between the two sides so they know how to
the
function.
other side pork wasn't contaminated. Clearly.
I don't know if it was so much about contamination. I think it was just compare and contrasting. They do this, we do that.
Well,
And-
that's what
and like
Clara
a
said when she was
hierarchy
teaching
thing.
the boys. She was like, well, their swine wasn't infected with what ours was. So, like, whatever flu epidemic that took place, it affected their food. It affected, like, their air, everything. Like, that's how it was making people drop dead, like, left and right. Like, it affected everything. So they had to cut off certain things. Like, that's why there's so many, like, hand sanitizer, you know, poles everywhere you go on the street. Like, they had to cut off certain things to change their way of life so that they could be, I guess, in a way, healthy and protect themselves from the virus. So, I mean, it's really weird and stupid.
Sure, but that's the concept of their world. So with the pork, it's also they're looking at things like our side does things better.
Right.
So even with the pork, without the contamination, it's we don't eat pork because it is a lesser food, and that's the way certain cultures even feel on our planet now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Currently. So we don't eat pork because of this, and we don't do this because we are the right way to do things, and they are the wrong way. They are, as an entire dimension or universe, they are wrong.
Yeah.
They are doing things flawed. We are not.
And they only know that from the flu epidemic, though, because everything was the same. Everything was identical. Everything was run the same. Everything was fine all the way up until this flu epidemic happened. And that's why she brings it up. Like, okay, what happened in 1996? Because that's when everything changed. And they're like, well, we do this now and we do that. And they think that their way of living is right only because they're living that way to protect themselves.
Sure, but that's what most cultures do in general. So whenever you ask a triangle, if triangle could speak, a triangle would say, triangles are the best shapes in the universe. And then you'd ask a circle would say, but we're the best shapes in the universe. And then the square would be like, no, we're the best shapes in the universe. That's where this is coming from, is the concept of each culture or each world thinking that they are doing things right and the other is wrong. And we do that all the time,
Yeah.
even amongst ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why these two sides are continuously bumping heads, even when we saw in previous episodes where they're trying to come up with this conclusion on how to settle, you know, all this conflict with each other. It's never going to be settled because each side think that they're right and the other side is wrong. They even talked about how the prime side, their technology is a little bit behind than the other side. So there are a lot of differences and, of course, a lot of similarities between the two sides. Now, there was a quote in this episode that I liked that I want to discuss with you guys. Claude Lambert said that we don't need people, we want them. How do you guys feel about that? And do you think that that's true? And do you think that that's pretty much, I almost feel like that's the way that the prime side of the world live, and which is why they're so emotionally detached from everything, because they operate on their own. Everything is about a mission and a plan. They don't
Prime
really
is our
have,
side. Prime is our side.
No.
No, prime is
Prime is
is
the
the-
other side.
Prime is our side now.
What?
This is
mean?
what I'm saying. So I'm seeing it as, I never knew how political and philosophical this show was until this episode.
okay.
Because it actually, so everything we think about the other world is actually things that go on in our world. we think this way about cultures. We think this way about each other. We think this way about politics. Like right now we're looking at Claire like she's a monster, and I guarantee you there is a covert operation that's going down like Claire right now in the world. So it's like, I always thought the Prime was so different, and it's outside. It's when we walk outside, that is Prime. We are, it's almost as we are in the other world.
So we don't
We
care.
just don't
we
know.
don't care about other people. We don't want other people. Is that what you're saying?
I'm
is
saying-
is that how we're operating in today's society?
I feel like that's how we are operating. I feel like we have these conversations where, oh, the people in the Middle East are like this, and they're wrong, and we're right, and then they think we're wrong, and they're right, and then everyone feels this way, and everyone is suspicious of one another and plotting, and the conspiracies abound, and we as the average citizen, even us, we're aware of them. And we sit there and learn and compare and contrast. And I was like, this is the Prime. Like, we are the Prime. And it's just interesting.
So back to the quote. Actually, I agree.
Okay.
I agree because there has been a lot of instances in my life where I thought I needed people. Like, especially specific people.
Okay.
You think you need them, and then once they're gone, you're fine without them. So it's like we don't need these people. We just wanted them, because if we needed them, they would still be there. And if we needed them, we wouldn't be able to live without them. We wouldn't be able to function without them. But I've had to cut off so many people in my life, or just been detached or moved away or lost touch with so many different people in my life that I thought I needed at a point in time, to where now I'm so much better without them. I'm like coming into myself. I'm a becoming woman because I decided that I no longer needed these people or needed this person or something like that. So I really agree. Like, you never need anybody. You just want them, you know? I mean, the only people who really need people are babies who need their mama, because how they gonna eat, you know?
Right.
But other than that, yeah.
So do you think having that mentality on the Prime side is a positive for them, or could it be a negative?
It's a positive for them because of the way that they're raised. So they're raised to not have emotions, to not have boyfriends, to not build relationships with people, and to get attached, because one day you're going to leave and you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to have to maneuver in such a way where even if you see yourself, yes, you've been studying this person your whole life, you've been taking classes, they're literally testing. Like, the teacher is walking around watching how these children draw their names, and if they don't draw it how they draw it on the other side, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, so if I'm being tested and I'm, having to do so much research and studying on a person, I'm going to grow an emotional attachment to this person because I have to study them. So fast forward to basically Claire's situation, you go over to the other side. Not only do I study this person, know them, I have to watch them from afar. And now that we have an interaction, it's going to be nothing for me to take them out, because I have got it in my head that no matter how much I study you, no matter how much I research you, and no matter what kind of attachment that I've grown with getting to know you, even though you don't know about me, I can't have this connection with you. You have to die, because I just want you. I don't need you. Like, what I need is to complete my mission. So that's what they own.
Yeah.
It's a very pessimistic way to look at life and love.
Yeah.
It's just the show, though. I'm just answering questions to the show. I don't feel like that in life, though. That for sure not, because I believe that, if I take my time to actually get to know somebody, and this is not even just like me having an other, me building relationships with people. If I take my time to get to know them, and then all of a sudden they're gone, don't slap me because I'm sad that they're gone. No, give me my time to grieve that my friend is not here anymore. Like, dang, that was my friend. Like, I have emotions too. Like, but do you
feel
whole thing
like,
was just.
Do you feel like you need people or want people in your life?
I think naturally for humans, it's a little bit of both. Sometimes we think we need the wrong people, which can be a detriment to us. But I do think we need companionship to a certain extent. Yes. I think it's something that's very important. I think that it's something that I think a lot of people don't even realize how important it actually is to us. we're not really built to be completely alone and not have interaction and not have emotional connections and relationships with people.
Right, because community is a big thing. Community is how you develop in life. So it's basically that thing like you are who you hang around. So if you're riding a success wave and then you have people around you and in your ears and in your inner circle who are not successful, you will only fall backward and not move forward because those people are going to affect you. So community plays a big part in our lives, and we definitely, need community. But again, I would say most people we just really want.
Yeah. And that's why the structure in the school that we saw is so important, so that they did not become emotional and did not need people. I think one of the things that I enjoyed seeing about the school was that they held true to, okay, if this happens to your other, we have to do this to you. So we definitely saw Claire's legs get broken, which was interesting, but also terrible to see. I'm kind of glad that we didn't actually see the whole leg breaking process, but
I would have been so crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was crushed the fact that they had to even touch this little girl in a way that bones on her body are detached. Yeah. Like, I understand, her other going through some stuff, but let her go through that,
So do you think that that's obsessive, or is it very necessary in order for for them to be able to shape these people mentally to be able to go to the other side to
I don't think it's just
the mission.
Mental shape. I think it's also the physical scars that appear, the understanding of the pain, which is why she said no to anesthesia.
True.
It's the concept is when you have a scar, that scar must be apparent. That is a way that we are able to determine if a person is not. Even if you ever get arrested, they will document all the scars that you have.
That's true.
So they will make a notation of your tattoos, scars, anything that's particular to you. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, as the little boy said, I don't even need the braces. My other has braces, and so I have braces.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary, the breaking of the legs. Braces, yeah, whatever. But I think, if there's a certain point in life where, like how the father is sitting on the couch telling the story about what happened. Mm-hmm. Her legs are fine. You see, on the outside, you don't see anything. No scars,
It was a little
nothing.
Scar. That's why he paid attention. Like Peter Quill looked. It was just a little bit of a scarring that existed still.
Well, okay, because I didn't see that, this is my point of view. If there was a thing where they were going to actually take apart her legs to see if they were actually broken before, just to see if the story made sense that he was telling sitting on the couch, then fine, so be it, break her legs. But I feel like she could have been all right without that. She would have been all right. She would have just like she studied everything else about her,
Sure.
It was fine. Like the whole cherry popping thing, her having to have sex with a random just so she's not a virgin anymore. I agree with that because that's a very physical thing. Once, Peter Quill went in there, he would have known oh no, something ain't right. How you a virgin again,
right. I think that it was necessary. Because like you say, if you're going to be living as this person, you have to know what sex feels like, or you have to know what the tightening of braces feels like, or be able to describe that, because as we saw, Quayle was questioning her and testing her. What is this like? So if we happen to ever get into that conversation, she does have to be able to really fully be able to explain the pain. Even if there was no scar, she has to be able to have lived that experience, really know what it's like. And even if that wasn't the case, I think it's necessary in order to really show how serious they are about the mission, how serious they are about all of this. So I think in different realms, it is very necessary for the school. It's necessary for the person going through it. I don't like it that it had to happen, but we see that these people aren't playing any games.
They're very thorough.
Necessary.
They not, and that created a turning point for her because she was literally like, "No, why did y'all do this to me? I need answers."
But I think that was also part of it. I think that not only is the other side extremely thorough, where they get it done, sensation is also very much a part of any experience that you have. Sensation, memory, the whole experience to culminate. But more importantly, when she asked, The teacher said they did this to you. It was to
Right.
build a hatred
Exactly.
for the other side and for the other her, which obviously the way she brutally was able to kill effectively herself
Yeah.
was a sign that it was an effective method.
Yeah, it's a method because she even said to Claire that it's time for you to shed the skin of your past and to grow a new one, a thick one with anger. So this is all in preparation to get them not only physically but mentally prepared. Like, these people did this to you. They killed your parents. So you need to be angry and, setting them up for it. Go over there, do the mission, destroy this world, and that's that. So, like I said, I don't like it, but it was necessary.
I liked it. It was this is my favorite episode by far.
Okay.
Answered a lot of questions.
I agree. So let's talk about Claire actually crossing over to the other side and the original Claire's relationship with Peter. As we see, Peter's always been a cheat. Oh my God. Since the
He
very
been cheating
beginning.
the whole season. And then now since the beginning, before they even got married.
He's a mess.
But the real Claire didn't even marry him, so that's a fail in itself.
It was. So their relationship, like we said, is pretty much been rocky. I thought it was interesting that she was, I don't know if she was a virgin or if maybe they just decided not to have sex until they got married. But
yeah, that's what happened because remember Claude, or what his name?
Claude, yeah.
Claude was like, I don't understand how people can devote their lives to somebody without even having sex with them. So, I mean, clearly they waited till marriage.
Yeah. And so I think the original Claire and Peter's relationship seemed to be going good, minus the cheating. But how do you think? I thought it was very interesting seeing Claire Prime, like, literally study, and she would say the words after her and all that. So do you guys think that she was fully prepared and really fell into the role of the other Claire once she actually killed her?
Yeah, I mean, she was prepared because she'd been studying her since birth.
Okay.
Like, well, not since birth, but she'd been studying her since the breaking of the legs. Like, since she knew that I had to know this girl, she'd been studying her from afar. Because remember, even when they sent the photos over that these two were getting married, they were engaged. She but they just met. She don't even really know him. So she knew, her ins and outs. She knew her relationships with people. She had already been studying. She had already been practicing. And then we don't know how long she was sitting in that basement watching this girl with these surveillance cameras. So
Right.
I believe she was fully prepared. It just took her by surprise that it had to happen so quickly. I felt like she needed time.
Yeah. So as we saw, Prime and Quail swept through the apartment. How do you guys think that Quail didn't know anything? And I was kind of surprised that he was such in shock that his wife was actually the mole after Prime is literally laying all this out for him. He still was in denial.
I think you answered it yourself. She was very prepared. And it shows. She had a baby. She was willing to go to any length to secure her position and infiltrate, and she did effectively and was very good.
All right.
And it's very hard to think that the person you're with is not the person who you think it is. And we see that in everyday relationships all the time, especially in cases of infidelity or mischief or lying or deception.
Yeah.
We see that. It takes a lot for the deception to be proven. It's not just a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some predictions, you guys.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so I'm going to go first this episode. I think all hell is about to break loose next episode. We see Baldwin is about to get into some mess. It looks like it's a lot of There's going to be an action-packed episode next week. I'm excited to see Baldwin get into it. I almost feel like Quail is going to fall into Claire's trap. I don't believe her. I don't feel like I can believe anything that comes out of her mouth at this point. So I'm really interested to see where that's going to go with him, and is he going to allow her to further compromise the agency? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to know how to stop that.
Okay.
And I think that, what's his name? The other one? Aldrich. I think Aldrich, because he has already pinpointed Quail as the mole, I think Aldrich is about to come for Quail's head without knowing the details.
Okay.
And I think he's about to try to kill him or try to do something to him without knowing the full, no, it's Claire and not him. And I don't feel like, Prime or Quail is going to be able to stop Aldrich's plan in time. And it's going to be really messy how that happens, because right now these two people, Aldrich and his partner, they know, like, all right, we got to take out Quail.
Okay.
So that's really crazy and beyond me, because I feel like everybody should have a meeting at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we got to have a meeting, we got to talk some kind of way. Claire gonna trap him up in some stuff. Like, just like you said, I agree with that. Like, he's gonna be in a trap that he's not gonna be able to get out of, because she basically, like, we in this together, we got this baby, and it's the only thing that I can call mine. So, you know what? I gotta be here, and this is going through. And homeboy Pope, he about to set it off. He about to set it off something serious. Whatever they were waiting on to happen, he's gonna do it now, because Claire has been found out and she ain't dying. So
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Tehran?
Really quick, I think Peter Quill and Prime are going to try to slip Claire false information. That's going to be Prime's idea. However, he's not going to be aware that Peter Quill has already confronted Claire. Claire's going to go on the lam, going to go on the run. She's going to escape the situation. She's going to get into a conflict with Nadia, and I think that's what's going to happen.
All right. I love all of it. And then just really quickly for you guys, some news and gossip. Hollywood Reporter, every year they put out a top rankings list of the best shows on television, and of course Counterpart is #1. So if you guys spread the word to your family, your friends, anybody who's not watching Counterpart, anybody who's not watching us, make sure you guide them to our videos, like, comment, subscribe on everything. And thank you for joining us. My name is Ashley Allen. You can find me on all social media at Ashley Reed Allen.
And I'm Porchia Carter. Thank y'all so much, you guys. You can find me on all things social media at Porchia Carter.
And I am Tehran, literally at I am Tehran all across the board. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to share and subscribe and comment down below. We would love to hear from you.
Yes. We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.